Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for coming by and spending a little time with me. You know you're my people, and I love you. Always want you to be the big three. So, on today's edition, we're going to take a look at a brewery that's local to me, North Mountain. Now, to be fair, right off the bat, I am prejudiced. I love this brewery. They have turned out some of my absolute favorite beers, and I have absolutely zero issues with drinking local. We will talk more after, but let's get to the beer because there are people who probably have left by now. Anyway, North Mountain Brewing out of Phoenix, Arizona has produced for Oktoberfest their Happy Kraut Marzen. Happy Kraut Marzen. And apparently this is 1 pint. I want to go wherever they learned how to do friggin' beer math. Anyway, it was like 15 bucks for this can of beer. It is a quart of beer, though. Still a little on the pricey side. It's like $7.50 a pint, but it is what it is. And this is what I do for you, my friends. So, crack, pour, temp, SRM, 2 minutes of music. Today's music is Jade Jackson doing Good Time Gone off of Gilded, which I got from ScrewTube. It's going to piss ScrewTube off. They're going to copyright strike me again. I can give. Behold the field in which I grow my, because there are none. Yeah, exactly. All right. She actually looks like she's a pretty good-looking woman too. So, pretty women who can sing. Good with all of that. Here we go. Anyway, if you don't want to listen to, if you want to watch me do the crack and the pour and the temp, blah 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 blah. 2 minutes and I'll catch you there. All right? Here we go.
We stopped at the willow outside the gate, at the time where it didn't seem late. Devil makes 3, whiskey makes 4, Jack, Dan, Jim, Evan Williams in the floor. I'm still not proud, I said I love you.
Alright. Okay. I think it's a pretty good song. I like it. So, we're going to go with that. Alright, the head has started to come down. She looks like she's going to lace well for us, my friends. You saw we were drinking her slightly below temp. But we're going to do this, and then as normal, we'll pause it for a minute or two and come back when she comes up to temp, and I'll give you another reading there. So, biding time. Let's get that sniffer up in there. So like the last one we did, the AleSmith, where I didn't really get much off the nose but beer. I'm not getting much off the nose but beer here. Not bready, crackery, biscuity, not super malty. Whereas the AleSmith was just completely flattened like a lager. This has some multi characteristics, a little further down, a little deeper, but it's really light. It's not very forward and pronounced. Is what it is. Again, she's cold. Once we let her warm up, we'll see. All right, let's slip it a tongue, see what we got going on here. Pretty tasty, decently bittered up. Ooh. Interesting flavor progression. So, she comes in, she's kind of clean. Wow, that's weird too. She comes in, she's kind of clean, and what I get hit with right up the front is the IBUs. So I get the bitter right up there. Half a second, 3/4 of a second later, it starts to shift away from the bitter into the malt. And she finally wraps up on, and this is really going to sound weird, I am sorry. She finally wraps up on, so when she hits the malt in the middle, it's the sweetness. And then she progresses all the way through to the, this is bready. So, I get bread. I'm not getting burnt bread, so sort of a toasty, bready note. Not pretzel, definitely not cracker or biscuit. It's not even like hardtack. We did the one not too long ago where it had a very, very hardtack flavor to it. This is just like a nice toasty bread. So far that's what we got. I'm going to pause it, let it warm up, and then we will come back, okay? See you in a blink of an eye. Alrighty, my friends. Hold on a second. There, that should remove that annoying hiss from the background, which is the fans from the laptop. Sorry about that, I forgot it on yesterday's video too. So, she has warmed up a bit. She is at about 48 right now. Okay. And this is within the approved temperature range, which we should be drinking this beer. So, let's see what she has to offer this time. Yes, we are using a can glass, but that's because that's what fits in my brewmate. The can's way too big to fit in the brewmate. Bird flew over. I thought it was a hawk or nah, more sky rats. Oh, look. So once you bring her up a little higher in temp, she opens up more. She's supposed to. That's the way it's supposed to work. Much more filling now. So, entire intradental surface, bottoms, tops, tongue, roof of the mouth, coming out into the buccals on the side. It's gotten a lot smoother. That initial bitterness into sweetness into toasted bread, gone. Now what we're looking at is just literally that tail end toasted bread note. She's actually slowed down a little bit too. Dirty girl as she is, she's dirty. She's actually slowed down a little bit and opened up. It's nice. So comments wise, what you're getting with this, she's pretty well balanced. She's not overly sweet. She's not super malty, although she is bready, but she's well bittered on top. So the specs they gave us on this, because I just shot the board when I was in the brewery, were 6.1 for the ABV and 24 for the IBUs. Now she's actually drinking a little harder than 24 in the IBU section, but that's not really a problem because she's well meshed. It actually accents and complements the sweet, sort of like lemon lime, right? Because you know how they're supposed to complement one another. Pretty interesting. I was supposed to give you an SRM on this. She definitely looks darker than the AleSmith, but she does not look nearly as dark as some of the other ones we've had. Kind of a pity. She's very, very pretty, though. I'd throw her at like a 33, 32. Where the AleSmith was like a 28. A few points darker than that. You do have to remember it comes with the caveat that I'm a male, and so there's white, off-white, that ain't white, and gray. Maybe dirty white, as opposed to the 400 shades of white that some people who have bonus holes in their birthing persons can actually see, whereas I'm just like, sure, whatever. She still lingers. She's still dirty. But she's tasty. Is this the best Marzen we've had this week? No. Not by a long shot. Is she well done for the style? Yeah. Is the flavor profile interesting? Yeah, it actually kind of is. And the progression when she's colder is more interesting than when she's at the correct temp. But when she's up to speed, she's okay. Not fantastic. 4 1/4. It's a good beer. Don't get me wrong. But, meh. We've had better this week. So, I'm not casting shade on it. I told you at the beginning, I like this brewery. It's one of my favorites. Actually, this is my number 1 favorite brewery. And then there's Kitsune. And Lake Pleasant was good. I know people rave about Wren House. I've drank their entire selection. Just not impressed. Now, everybody's taste profile is different. I like things that you don't like. You like things that I don't like. Just saying. At least I give you something to scale from. So, we're going to give this a 4 1/4. We're going to call it a 32 for the SRM. Once again, 6.1 for the ABV, 24 for the IBUs. That's where we're at. All right, people who are only here for the beer, that's the beer. I'll give you a second so you can tag out. Oh, I'm sorry. Before you tag out, remember, my people, I love you. Always want you to be the big 3. Happy, healthy, safe, honorable, dutiful, vigilant, head on a swivel, gray man, hot and handy. Okay. So, I don't want to not include them. They're still our people. Skål. You know, this is one of those beers where the more you drink it, the more palatable it becomes. I don't know if that's because while you're drinking it, it's only 6%, dude. I mean, we're not. They have one in there that I have to buy. I'm sorry for the aside. I just didn't have the cash in pocket, or I would have. They have a bottle of something called Notorious, which is a mesquite smoked Belgian. Oh my God. Next time I'm down there, I got to grab one. I'll do it for the channel. It looks absolutely phenomenal. No, I forgot where I was. Anyway. Oh. Squizzy. So, this is one of those beers where the more you drink it, the more you develop a liking for it. And it's a good thing because it comes in this giant pint can. Giant. Actually, I need to save this because I have someone who's going to start pellet gun training shortly, and that's going to come in damn handy. Big targets are always better for little hands. But their Notorious looks absolutely delicious. The person who came up with this is a genius. So what they do is they pour it off the tap. You're literally getting a fresh tap beer. Then they put the lid on it. Then they charge you money after slapping a label on it that says things like this. But take that home, put it in the fridge for a couple of hours because it's going to bounce in the car a little and let it settle down. You noticed when I opened it, it didn't explode all over hell in creation, right? So yes, you have to take it home and let it settle down. Much like this thing, you're best off let it. Yeah, that's for the space lizards that are listening in. You're better off letting this settle overnight, minimum, and definitely bring this down to temp. I kept this for the same reason, but this is for much later than air gun. That's a steel can. There's the weld. I used to work in places that made stuff like this. Steel can. I'd much rather drink out of steel than aluminum, by the way. But, that being said, $1 million idea. I love this concept, and yet I did not come up with it, but I am a fan. Now, I could have taken my growler in and had my growler filled for $25. Instead, I bought 2 cans of these, cost me $33. We ran into the problem last week. Best thing about that glass. Ran into that problem last week where I wanted to get my growlers filled, and one place didn't brew enough to fill growlers, and the other one said the only growlers they filled were their own. Don't get it. So I called down to them during the week. It's Oktoberfest, and Angus actually texted me and said they have a 10th anniversary celebration coming up. Awesome. Great. That is awesome. Love this place. They survive through the bullshit because their stuff is so good. Their food is off the hook too. If you're ever out here, you want to go here. Okay? Just saying. So, I called them earlier, and I talked to a girl on the phone. She answered the phone. I actually called them twice. The first time I called them, it was too busy. They didn't answer. Second time I called them, I got an answer, and I could talk to the girl for a little bit. Because I had seen their Twitter? I think it was Twitter. I finally got on Twitter because of the geezer that I am. Look them up on Twitter, though. Again, excellent brewery. And she said, yeah, come on down. And so I have my growler sitting in the refrigerator at work like we did last week. You know where my growler is sitting today? Refrigerator at work. It'll be nice and cold. So if you are, and that's like a double or quintuple walled steel insulated growler. As long as it's insulated, why do I care? Just make sure it's insulated. Much like pre-chilling coolers before you pack them. Pre-chill your growler before you fill it. Now, I know a lot of folks are, I'll only use a glass growler. That's fine. Pre-chill your glass growler before you go. To the fellow that was pouring me the beer, nice guy. Apparently, there's a millennial term for these. These are crowlers with a C. I said, I don't have a growler, dude. I didn't bring a growler with me. He goes, no. Crowler. And I'm like, I hate this planet. Can we get a big giant meteor down here now? Sometimes it makes my head hurt, folks. Remember, you are my people, though. So, I was talking to somebody. It wasn't Millie, it was somebody else. We were talking about Elon Musk and Mars and space. Oh, we were talking about Elon Musk was banging that crazy bitch, Johnny Depp's ex-wife, who shit in his bed. Batshit crazy. Unfortunately, I am a magnet for them. I'm okay with that. Except for the shitting in the bed part. That's too fucking weird. So I was like, that's it. That Nasara Jasara thing ever kicks off and those friggin' Zim bucks are worth, what they were saying they were going to be worth. I'm calling Elon and I'm like, Elon, load that rocket up with all them crazy bitches. We going to Mars. I am fucking out of here. I'm punching this ticket. We is gone. Yeah, no, you know why? Because this is the only planet with beer. And that's why I'm not leaving. One quick story. So, Angus served with a buddy of his in the Navy. Really nice fellow. We'll call him Mike. And Mike, really, really nice guy. A little on the crazy side, though. And Mike likes him some plus-size ladies. And Mike has absolutely no standards whatsoever and does not care. So I was talking to Angus and I was like, so how's Mike doing? And he goes, I'm worried about him, dude. I'm like, why? What do you mean? He goes, he was telling me this story. He had to break up with his new old lady because they were having sex and she shit in the bed again. And I was like, what? He goes, yes, that's what I said to him. I said, what do you mean again? First time. Shit in the bed again. You go back after that, why? There is there's the golden pussy rule, law, whatever you want to call it, but ain't that golden. Not that there isn't a whole different section for golden people. That's different, but shit the bed again. Yeah, I'd be like, gotta go. Nice to see you. The world is such a fucked up place. Elon, load that rocket up with some crazy bitches. We're fucking out of here, man. I'll catch you on the next one, folks. I don't know what we're drinking tomorrow. Whatever I pull out, I'll toss in the fridge. Love you fuckers. Thank you for wasting this much time with me.